Welcome to the Fringe Files Fringe News Roundup, your weekly blast of the bizarre, the curious, and the chilling. From strange sightings and shadowy secrets to headlines too weird to ignore, where the unbelievable meets the undeniable.
Welcome to the Fringe Files Weekly News Roundup. From strange Bigfoot sightings in Connecticut woods to hundreds of apocalyptic speakers blasting screams off Mount Shasta, and explosive claims about private aerospace companies hiding recovered alien craft, this week's news cycle has been completely wild. If you thought the headlines couldn't get any stranger, buckle up, pull up a chair, check out the perimeter, and let's dive into this week's top Fringe Files. Our first story takes us to the quiet woods of Connecticut, where a Rhode Island father reported a harrowing late-night encounter with a giant creature. Kevin Clemmis was driving back home in the early morning hours of July the 5th after leaving a rented cabin. As he crossed a small bridge, an 8.5-foot tall biped creature suddenly leaped into the road right in front of his vehicle. Clemmis had to slam on his brakes to avoid direct collision with the creature. He described the entity as a heavy, muscled, with coarse, matted brown hair, a shaped jawline, and a pointed head moving swiftly across the pavement. When reporting the encounter to Bigfoot Field Research Organization, Clemens provided specific anatomical details, notably observing that the creature was clearly male and had no breast. Investigators from the organization interviewed Clemens, reviewed local history in the area, and declared his report credible and honest. Our second story moves out west to Northern California, where a mother and daughter were horseback riding near Mount Shasta, stumbled into a scenario straight out of a horror movie. While riding near Highway 97, Carrie Ann Schnoo and her daughter heard unsettling screeching sounds emanating from the deep inside the forest. Following the sound off the trail, they discovered between 100 to 200 solar-powered Bluetooth speakers planted in the dirt across the slope. The speakers were playing a terrifying mix of static, high-pitched screams, and repeating audio that sounded like a sermon about salvation. Speculation immediately exploded online, ranging from Bigfoot baiting systems and wildlife deterrents to secret marijuana farm perimeters to local cult rituals. Mount Shasta has long been a focal point for high strangeness, often tied to legends of the subterranean city of Telos, and interdimensional activity and native sacred rituals. While follow-up investigations confirmed the speakers were installed on private property, no individual group has officially come forward to claim the responsibility for the eerie audio installation. And our final story hits the highest level of government and national security policy. Advertisers associated with UAP transparency initiatives have made serious public accusations regarding crash retrieval programs. The focus has shifted heavily away from traditional government agencies and toward major private defense contractors. Prominent figures and scientific advisors include Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb, argue that the legacy defense corporation like Lockheed Martin and other may be harboring recovered non-human craft. By transforming physical materials and hardwares into private corporate hands, these programs allegedly bypass congressional oversight and Freedom of Information Act requests. The push continues for full declassification and scientific examination of the materials to determine if recovered technology could revolutionize modern physics or propulsion. While official defense spokespersons continue to deny evidence of extraterrestrial origins, lawmakers and whistleblowers are demanding a complete audit of private aerospace inventory. So let's pause right here and look at the sheer variety of these three stories. On one hand, we have everyday citizens coming face to face with a massive creature and a bizarre installation in our local forest. On the other hand, we have a formal accusation alleging that non-human technology is being hidden inside corporate vaults away from public view. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Which story from this week's roundup do you find the most compelling or concerning? Do you think the speakers on Mount Shasta were a security system or a social experiment or something stranger? Drop a comment and let me know. Let's get the conversation started. Well, that wraps up this week's of the Fringe Files Weekly News Roundup. If you want to stay up to date on declassified anomalies, breaking cryptid reports, or hidden history, hit that subscription button right now. Follow the podcast, share this episode with a friend who loves unexplained news, and help us keep digging for the truth. See the links in our show notes for more. Stay analytical, keep your eyes on the horizon, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Fringe Files.
That's this week's Fringe News Roundup. These aren't just weird headlines, they're clues, breadcrumbs pointing to a world far stranger than we're told. If you enjoyed today's roundup, be sure to subscribe, share, follow us on social media, and check out our long-form podcast episodes and articles on Substack, where we dive deeper into the unknown.